Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. I am very excited to be bringing you this book today. It is the 4-part Aquaman series from 1986 by Neil Ponser and Craig Hamilton. It is beautiful. The art is breathtaking. I've been waiting to do this one for a long time. I'm very excited about it. So that is what we're looking at today, guys. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. First of all, this book has sort of come into the ether lately because people are just up in arms wondering why this hasn't been reprinted yet. Craig Hamilton, the artist, being one of them. I've known Craig for some time now. Been a major fan of his art since this came out, so many years ago. I remember just being so blown away and like literally stopped in my tracks. I'm an artist. I love comic art. I've never seen any art like quite so gorgeous as this on a comic book before, so it really got my attention. I love the new costume. I'm a huge Aquaman fan. I'm a blonde, so I'm always drawn to the blonde characters, and, you know, that's how we do, right? But I love Aquaman, and I don't know, I feel like this costume might have been dismissed a little bit as a joke, but I always thought it was super cool. I know there's an action figure out there. Let's see. So reading in the back of this, like, or, you know, some of the letters pages, there's a little bit of a bio going on, for the creators. And, Neil Ponser, like, was an amazing, editor at DC. He brought in a lot of talent. He discovered Phil Jimenez. They wound up, being in a long-time relationship until, Neil's, unfortunate, premature passing. Neil is like definitely like a Mark Renwald, like an Archie Goodwin, a Carl Potts. Like he's like an artist editor. He discovered a lot of great talent. People have a lot of great memories of him. He did a lot of good things for the comic book community, and bringing Craig Hamilton to Aquaman is definitely one of them. So Craig says that he's 20 years old and he wasn't good enough to be a comic book artist 3 years ago when he was 17, and then he just like really tried hard and kept practicing, working with a portrait artist who taught him to learn to draw from life and just not comics, and it shows. Oh my gosh, like the level of artistry in Craig Hamilton is beautiful. I love that he inked this cover himself, the first cover. This is a great collage. This is a beautiful image. I think he's recreated it himself a million times. Like I said, this has never been reprinted, never collected in a trade. This needs like a gorgeous hardcover treatment. The art is beautiful and breathtaking, and the printing standards just weren't up to it at the time. And, you know, I feel like a lot of the detail and beauty is lost in the art, so we definitely need to fix that. I would low-key love to see an artist edition from IDW. The art is so good in here. It's very beautiful and illustrative. You know, Aquaman is kind of one of those, I hate to say the word problematic, problematic from a creative standpoint, in that, you know, I feel like it's hard to make him interesting. You know, one of the things that is weird is, like, he is a little unrelatable, being from, you know, underwater, although, you know, he's of water and land, you know, being half human, half Atlantean. I mean, look at this art. This is so beautiful. Okay, Neil Ponser's story, Craig Hamilton art, Steve Montano inks. I know I've seen his name before. This feels like one of his first gigs, and he's very detailed, very beautiful inks. I think it was like a really great choice for Craig Hamilton. One of his first books here. Bob Lepine letters. We know Bob Lepine from lettering the Justice League International so masterfully. He has like kind of small lettering, which I think is perfect for this very detailed art that we're getting here from Craig Hamilton. Joe Orlando colors, like famous EC artist, just like a legend in the comic industry. So this is packing a punch. I also love the fact that Neil Ponser and Craig Hamilton are both gay. P. Craig Russell, who inked the covers of issue 2 through 4, is also gay. So I like that, you know, there's a presence of gay artists throughout comic book history. You know, whether, you know, you know it or not. You know what I mean? This isn't like the DC Pride issue or whatever. And we got 2 strong gay talents on it. So there you go. Sorry for my random gay pride moment, but I just had to point it out. You know, I think one of the things, you know, I can't help but think of like Michael Turner's Fathom when I'm looking at this because, you know, underwater comic books are difficult. There's not a lot of backgrounds, not a lot to like sort of depend on. And you do want like a Craig Hamilton or a Michael Turner who brings a lot of lush detail. You know, like he's bringing all this great detail and texture to the water, which I found very interesting. You know what I mean? So you're not just getting complete like open panels with a lot of negative space. You are getting some of that too, because how can it be helped in water? But I think that Craig definitely found a way to make it very interesting. The story's pretty straightforward, superhero, like classic, you know, Aquaman, like struggle between the surface world and the Atlantis, you know, Ocean Master, his brother, his main antagonist throughout, you know, Aquaman's history. I love seeing all these old ads too. Booster Gold. I mean, what, you know, Jim Rugg just came out with his 1986 book. This came out in 1986. And just by looking at the house ads, you can see like what a crackling magic time it was. I do have to give credit to Joe Orlando too for the colors here. It's like, I love him using like these pinks and reds, you know, where it could just be all blue and, you know, a sort of greens and, you know, the colors of the ocean. Definitely using a broader palette to make it more interesting to the reader, I feel. And oh my gosh, okay, so I could talk about Craig Hamilton's art all day long, but he is just like, he's one of the artists, like, along with P. Craig Russell, who I describe as like a romantic artist. I feel like he brings classic art to comic book art, and it's just such a beautiful marriage. Who did he talk about his influences? I can't remember. Oh my god, but like knowing it, like I feel like Steve Montano might go on to ink Steve Lytle, and I'm seeing a little bit of Steve Lytle in here. It just like the elegance of the line and the beauty and the softness of it, but still very powerful at the same time. You know, and this is also 1986, so you do see a little bit of that flair in there. If you're from the era, you just sort of know. It's like, I don't know, just like an unspoken sensibility, like a slight Patrick Nagel vibe happening underneath in a way. Nagel, sorry, I pronounced that incorrectly. I love the splash pages. You know, this is pre-image, you know, like several splash page, like Money Shot or whatever, but you're still getting these throughout this series. But that also just speaks to Craig Hamilton's strength as an artist. It's so unbelievable that he was only 20 years old when he drew this. This still stands as one of his artistic masterpieces. I mean, you know, we're friends. I follow him on social media, and he posts a lot of commissions and arts. He's like a master of the colored pencil for some strange reason. Like, it is like insanity. Like, I feel like, you know, Craig is definitely one of those talents who feels tapped into like otherworldly artistic ability. Like, I don't know, he's just in communication with the arts, and we're so blessed to have him as part of comics. You know, I rarely has he done like interiors, because as you can see, like, it's hard to maintain that on a consistent level. You know, so we get like the Marvel Fanfare Storm story stands out. There was an issue of Spectre, I think inked by P. Craig Russell. They make an amazing team, matching their beautiful illustrative romantic styles. I don't know, there's just lots of great panels. You know, like I said, this is very much a classic Aquaman story. I think the whole gimmick of it, or whatever, was the introduction of this blue camouflage costume, which I love. I think it's fantastic. It's super chic. It looks great. I mean, it must look fantastic in cosplay on the right person, right? You know, but I do love Aquaman. I think he's always been one of my favorite because of the whole blonde thing, but, you know, arguably so. Maybe he is a little bit boring. I mean, you know, it's always been made fun of that he just talks to fish and that's his power. And I hate how dismissive they've always been of Aquaman. But, you know, there it is. I mean, come on, look at this DC calendar coming out. George Perez art, so beautiful. I mean, this really was, like, such a magical time in comics. If you were lucky enough to be alive at the time, like, you don't even know. Like, just looking at this, you can see why I was so obsessed with comic books at the time. I mean, this is just what we're getting for 75 cents. I was just, like, blown away. I could not believe it. I remember, I feel like I got this at the 7-Eleven in Vegas when I first got it, and I just, like, I was dying. I was, like, so in love with it. Here we go. Craig Hamilton on the cover, inking. You know, I would have to believe this is the first time that they're working together. I'm not sure what made them look at this cover and think he needed an inker, because as much as I love P. Craig Russell's art, on his own, and as much as I love them working together, I kind of like Craig's inks by himself better. I feel like they would go on to collaborate and probably gel together better in the future. And trust, there is nothing wrong with this cover. This is absolutely gorgeous, as are the other three you will see. Also interesting, like when, because of solicitation and the way things worked, when miniseries first came out, it was like pretty much mandated that they were all 4 issues, just because the way it worked with ordering and stuff like that. I wish I had a better answer as far as the rhyme or reason of it. But in a way, I do feel like, you know, it's good that miniseries have found their footing. I think 5 issues seems to be common. And if you know anything about story structure, it makes more sense. Like in a 4-issue stories, you're sort of getting the beginning and then a big middle and then a finish. You know what I mean? Although I guess if you pace it right, I don't know, you know what you're doing. But 4 issues seems a little bloated in a way. I feel like this could have easily been told in 3 issues. It's pretty straightforward. There are a lot of great underlying themes here. And I do think that there, you know, one of the things as a member of the gay comic book community, you know, I've been to gay panels for years and, you know, talked about gay approach or theory in comics and whatever. I'm just pulling words out of my ass here. But, you know, there's like a subtext or a sensibility when you have a queer creator on the book. And I do think that there is somewhat of that there. And what do I mean by that? I don't know. Just the fact that from an artistic point of view, everything is beautiful and gorgeous. And as gay men, we do kind of like that. You know, thematically, there's sort of like, I don't know, the struggle of acceptance and just sort of like being good enough and proving yourself, which is definitely a universal struggle. I don't know. It's like the gays kind of like to own common things like that, like rainbows and, you know, oppression. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, the sensibility is a little bit different. Maybe you sort of get it more if you're actually gay. I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyway, you're like, you don't even know what you mean, bitch. Just turn the page and keep flipping through this gorgeous art. I do love it. Like, I can't even imagine how difficult that must have been to, like, I'm imagining Craig designed or had a great hand in designing this costume, and like, oh my god, like shooting yourself in the foot, like having to draw that over and over again, like would drive me crazy. So maybe it is a good thing it didn't turn into an ongoing series. I love these little flashback sequences and these montages, especially when they include the Detroit JLA. I mean, come on. I know that they're kind of a joke, but at the time we didn't know they were a joke, so we just love them. It's funny how that happens, right? Like, I never knew Aquaman was a joke until they started ridiculing him and, like, you know, pop culture. What a great, fun character. I don't know, there's a lot of creepy, like, underwater elements. I love the way Craig draws Ocean Master. Craig said he likes to... I thought it was so interesting, especially coming from a 20-year-old point of view, to have, like, that much thought in your creative process. Like, he felt like superheroes are so indistinguishable from their costumes instantly indistinguishable, that he wanted to make their faces distinct as well. So he liked to base his characters on real people, and Aquaman is a hybrid of Buster Crabbe and a GQ model. And one of the women, it must be her, is like Grace Jones in here, which of course I love that reference as well. Certain things, I don't know, like stand out to me. I'm like, oh my God, are those Alan Davis hands? Alan Davis seemed to always draw his hands in that position. I wonder if he picked up on that, or if that is like some unknown Atlantean hand, like gang sign that I don't know, or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Let's just keep moving. Amazing Man. I am kicking myself for missing the boat on that, and I've said it before going through these flip-throughs, and I need to do it. I just need to get on the Amazing Man tip. I know it was fun. It looks like great art. I just, at the time, like I said, it was 1986. You're a kid with a $5 allowance. You're, like, not even eating lunch, so you can buy comic books with your lunch money, and you can't get everything. But darn it, I tried. I really did try. I loved so many of these books, and like I said, one of the pinnacles of comic book greatness. Issue 3, here we come. Almost there, guys. You know, like I said, like, he's on this mission. He needs to be incognito, hence the new costume. I always feel like it's weird because even though he is you know, he's like the ultimate outsider in a way. And he's a blonde white male. Who knows oppression? Like, he doesn't fit in with the surface dwellers. He doesn't fit in with the Atlanteans. But he's blonde and gorgeous. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? That's creepy too. I just, like, once again, like, just knowing that Craig was, oh my God, Dead Man by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, gorgeous, right? And whoever thinks Nightwing has the best ass has not read this Aquaman limited series, because it's almost distracting how gorgeous his butt is throughout this whole series. I love this flashback sequence, the telling sort of Aquaman's origin, how his parents met. It's weird though too, because like I thought the storytelling was like really great in here, just sort of like the whole point of his, I don't know, it's just so weird. Like his father, like, didn't like people, so he was in a lighthouse, and then he meets his mother, who was kind of an outcast as well, and she didn't even tell him where she was from until like right before he died, and like, oh, by the way, our kid has powers because of it. And I just found it very interesting. Very interesting. Lot to unpack here. I love the beautiful sort of like Alphonse Mucha, like Art Nouveau-ness that he is bringing to it too. A lot of like confidence for a young artist. I mean, or maybe just sort of like, maybe it's the brazenness of not knowing, you know what I mean? Just like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I just like, I can just feel the fun and the energy coming through. And it just must have been so exciting for Craig to be like, oh my gosh, I wasn't good enough for 3 years. Finally, at the ripe age of 20, I'm given this chance and I'm going to make the most of it. And boy, did he. He drew the hell out of this. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And it holds up so well. And once again, confounding. Okay, so my mission for DC is, first of all, we need a facsimile reprint of these. Like, so much was lost in the printing, so many details, so much muddiness, like so many faded blacks. We need a facsimile ASAP, and then we need a gorgeous hardbound collection. I mean, you're collecting everything. Collect this. What is wrong with you? Arian. Never got into Arian as well. I mean, the artistry on this talisman is beautiful too. Certain things just stood out to me as amazing. Fun little uses of Baton in there. A lot of color holds, you know what I mean? I think this is like, you know, the 75 cents says to me that they're in like the Mando printing, sort of like a little bit higher quality. So you're going to see a few more effects in the color holds. They kind of went crazy with that on like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Blue Devil, Firestorm, I mean, Blast from the Past, anybody? Beautiful. I love these splash pages that he ends with. And like, I just love the face there. It's so handsome, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful art. The pen is mightier than the sword. There are puns all over the place. I feel like 80s comic books were like, it could have been so much worse, but especially with an Aquaman book, you know what I mean? You're getting like underwater jokes. I mean, as if on cue, another butt shot. I swear I'm not going to mention butts anymore. Neil Poncer's story, Craig Hamilton art, Steve Montano inker, Bob LePan letterer, and Joe Orlando colorist. It is nice to see a creative team remain intact throughout a 4-issue series. Grace Jones vibes, for sure. Look how beautiful this is. And we're in the 4th issue, and he's still drawing every little detail in every column. I mean, it's insane. I think Craig does commissions. If you follow him on socials, like, get out there and get yourself an original piece of Craig Hamilton art or something. Like, he is definitely an enigma within the comic book history. Like I said, like, definitely one of those artists who brought a beautiful illustrative style, bringing classic art to comic books. And we will forever be grateful to you for that, Craig Hamilton. You know, the state of the industry is kind of different now, but like, where is like my Craig Hamilton variant? You know what I mean? He does tons of commissions. A lot of people ask for this blue Aquaman, so they're out there. And I know DC does, there's a Batman commission that they used as a cover variant once. So give some love to Craig Hamilton. Craig Hamilton gave a lot of love to DC Comics. Give some love to the legacy of Neil Poncer. We also need, you know, Phil Jimenez's Tempest miniseries collected. Has it been collected? It must have been, but we need facsimiles, we need updates, we need collections. We need some love for the beautiful art of DC Comics, especially, like, can we get, like, a hardcover Craig Hamilton DC book? I mean, I know, you know, he may not be, like, a household name like some of the other DC artists, but that's not our fault. You know what I mean? I feel like if you don't know, I thought this was an interesting sort of climax to the whole thing too. Like, we get a lot of these double page spreads and very action oriented. Like, my God, like, there's so much here. Once again, the Detroit JLA, love it. I mean, also I have to say, like, give credit. Like, I found this very cinematic. Like, it almost could have been a movie. Like, the pacing was kind of nonstop. Like, it hooked you in and just like throughout the whole series. Like, I reread the entire thing this morning and I just like absolutely loved it. I felt like it hit on all the notes. It was kind of just like the perfect story. It was everything it needed to be. And plus, this Craig Hamilton art would have made it worth the price of admission alone. I am so tongue-tied this morning, guys. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Sorry, Craig. I've been dying to do this forever, and I want everyone to know how beautiful and amazing this book is. It is so gorgeous. All right, Marie Javins, where's our reprint? Bring it on. So beautiful. What a great page. How beautiful is that? That alone could be a poster. My God, this is so amazing. We need a new edition of this, y'all. Scott Dunbier, where's our artist edition? So much fun. I'm getting like a little Dave Stephen vibes too. Like, Craig Hamilton definitely does for men, well, and women, what Dave Stevens did for men and women. So beautiful, so much fun. One of my favorite series ever. My introduction to Craig Hamilton, a lifelong love affair with an artist. I love his art so much, so beautiful. All my Craig Hamilton fans know. Like, let's start screaming for a trade paperback collection of this Aquaman book. Please make it happen. I've manifested other things in life. I can do this too. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.